Hi, I'm Lilarhixiel. Welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before, or welcome back if you have. This is just what you're getting today, so it's like 5 in the morning, okay? So to be fair, what time is it? Okay, so it's 6:02. And when I woke up, it was 5, and I needed to have medicine and drink some water and that sort of thing. Dear. Why do I have to be so clumsy all the time? It's like the last thing I'd want to get water on. Oh dear. Alright. So this video is going to be about some of the crazy synchronistic things that have been happening. So, my mum works away at the moment on she works in aged care, but she gets, what's the word? Sent to different places within like our state, but regionally, so hours away. So anyway, she was on this assignment for like a number of months, and like it was not a healthy environment, and so she was having a really hard time at the end. And I think everyone's just sort of having a hard time at the moment, even if it's just energetically, if not just in life in general. I remember how to talk. And I've been feeling my ancestors around me more, and there's this information that I've always wanted on my great grandmother, whose birthday I was born on. So my mum had a miscarriage before I was born, and it was a girl, and she named it after her great grandmother, Charlotte. And then I was born on Charlotte's birthday after she miscarried this baby. I was her first baby born. I was a girl, and I was born on my great grandmother's birthday. So it was like my soul was like, "Oh hi, I'm back. By the way, this is me." So yeah, I've always wanted more information about her. She's kind of one of these figures in your family that's like a bit infamous, for like good reasons. She was like a bit of a matriarch, and my grandmother remembers, being in her house and her always having like crown mints in her pocket. And she wouldn't have had much money, but she obviously had enough to have a few little treaties. And so she would have crown mints in her pocket, and she was a very religious person. And if you could recite a Bible verse, she would give you a crown mint. So this is my grandmother's grandmother. So we do have like little stories like that. Like if you swore, like if she knew me, she would thoroughly disapprove, basically. Because I swear like a sailor. But if you did swear in front of Charlotte, she would quite literally wash your mouth out with soap. So I know that she would thoroughly disapprove with my mouth. So my mum was on assignment, and there was this old guy, and he's a bit of a difficult client, patient, however you want to see it. And she thought, oh, he used to be at Vietnam, so I'll like appeal to his patriotic soldier side and show interest in that, and engage with him and help him to like get him on side and make him a bit happier, and therefore he's going to be easier to work with. So she was talking to him about war stuff, and he was like, oh, I've got this book, and he was showed her this book, and my mum was like, oh my god. Oh my god. It was like this book that the Forest Range and Lenswood History Group put together. Now, that's where our ancestors are from. It's like this part in the Adelaide Hills. And and they put it together for commemorating World War One. It was like the 100-year anniversary in 2016. Yeah, like I think it happened like around there, or maybe like a bit before. Oh yeah, 1914. Yeah, so probably 2014, like to commemorate like the start of the war. So they put together like this huge book. It's like an inch. It's like an inch thick, maybe a bit under an inch, but it's got information about around that time and around like the first. No, so like 50 odd from this like small community. This was in like the early 1900s. So about 50 of them from their community went to war, and 15 of them died and didn't come back. It didn't list any injuries or anything, but they just focused on the 15 soldiers that died, and 2 of those was my great-grandmother's. 2 of those were her sons. In fact, the first one that died was her son, her eldest son. So they're in this book. And Mum wanted to go to this event, but health or I don't know, we couldn't go. And so we didn't get a copy of this, so we didn't know that this existed. And this old guy had it, and he was showing it to her, and Mum was like, oh, okay, like, wow. She's like, oh, my family is there. And Mum was like looking through it, and she said, oh, this is, she was telling this old guy, like, this is my great-grandmother, whatever. Anyway, she was like, oh, do you mind if I have a look at it? And so, yep, she found all our, some of our ancestors in it. And, and then she was telling the nurse, and she was like, oh, so-and-so has this book, and it's got my family members in it, and it's, it's amazing. And yeah, so like Mum's telling me this story when she gets home, and I was like, oh, wow, oh, that's so amazing. And then she's just like, oh, I've got the book, and I just like burst out crying because I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. She didn't steal it, guys. Okay, she didn't steal it. So this old guy, like, he's got dementia. They're all like getting on, and so he was a bit confused, and he would like basically steal stuff from other people's rooms. So I don't even know who this belongs to. Like, they do, like, they might not even, they probably don't even live there anymore. And but yeah, so she was just like with permission from the bosses, they're just like, oh yeah, you can have it, like, that's not his, we don't know where he got it from. They said he didn't come in with any stuff like that. We're not aware of anyone gifting him anything. Like, it's not his. He's not from that area. None of his family's from that area. Like, just take it. It's fine. So Mum brought it home. So she told me this, and I was like, oh my God, like crying. And cause she was telling me about everything that's in this book, and it has information in it that I've wanted, that I've known about Charlotte, but I didn't know exactly, like, where she lived. And, like, sure enough, we just have it now. So yeah, I won't read you about Charlotte, but we do have this photo of her. So, I'm trying to remember what my mum thought she was holding. My mum thought she was holding forget-me-nots. But she's actually holding a bunch of sweet William flowers. Now, her second eldest son was called William, and he's one of the ones that passed away. So that's probably why. And I think her husband might have been Henry William. I'm not sure, but he was Henry East anyway. Her name was Charlotte East. So this is Charlotte. I thought I'll show you that one because the one in the book it's small, but it's just not as good. So we have that photo. We've had that photo for ages. But it was, you know, it was nice to know that, okay, she's actually holding Sweet Williams. Like, that's amazing. You know, it's just these little bits of information. But yeah, there's also a photo of the property, and there's obviously like location in here as well, of like the lot number of like where it was. So this says the arrow in the photo below indicates the approximate location of the house Charlotte and Henry East shared with their boys, William and Walter. The deciduous trees and jonquils, which is like daffodils, are remnants of Charlotte's garden. Like, so it's crazy. Like, I actually have this information that I've wanted for ages. Like, I wanted to know where she lived. And she lived here, like, most of her life because she married Henry when she was, like, 21. And she died there. So she literally spent most of her life in this place. And I was like, I want to know where this is. And then this other thing, which answers a question that I've been wondering for a while. I'm like, well, because none of the women in the family back then talked about any psychic gifts because you didn't talk about that stuff because it got you locked up, okay? So, I'll just read you a little bit. This is about surrounding when Charlotte's second son, William, died. So her first son, Walter, died. He was the first from their town or like little district who passed in the war. And then William was the second. So coincidentally, William's mother, Charlotte, wrote an emotional letter to the AIF. AIF, I'm not sure what that means. It's just army lingo, I'm sure someone knows. Asking if William had been killed in action. The letter is dated the 3rd of September 1916. This is the day before William was killed. The day before. And then it literally says, did Charlotte have a premonition? And I was like, you can't make this stuff up. You know, like, I cried because I knew it was like I'm sorting my stuff, and so I'm hopefully that didn't make that sound, but I'm sorting my stuff, which in turn helps to sort the collective stuff down the lines of my ancestors on both sides. And so it helps people who are living to sort stuff, or like sorts the collective family stuff for them. But it's just like, it's crazy. It was just like my ancestors and my mum's ancestors saying, well, here you go. You guys need this right now. Like, keep going. You're doing good. You'll be fine. But like, I'm like, you literally can't make this stuff up. And I woke up and I was like, oh, well, I may as well just stay awake. You know, it's 5 a.m. I've had like 5 hours sleep. Like that seems like enough. And I was just like having some inhalers as I watched. It might have finished actually, but I'd been watching a video that Amanda Ellis just posted, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Anyway, I was just thinking about this stuff, and then I pulled all these cards. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm meant to do this video. So I pulled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, yeah, 9. It's like endings, you know, and that kind of infinity, which is your family. So passion and love for life, like that's me where I am right now, like trying to figure out my health, how to best support myself, like energetically and in healing so I can get better and thrive. And then healing, pause to receive. And then green, heart healing. And then family, circles of life. Then creation, expansion in your life. The void, retreat, rest, and pause. So it's like I'm still, like in all of this, it's like I'm expanding, I'm finding my love for my life, but intertwined in that is healing. which is completely, you know, rest, retreat, pause. It's like, yes, I still need to go within, I still need to do the work. And then it says ancestors, appreciation and healing. It's just like all healing. And then leadership, answer the call. The cosmos mirrors you. So in healing all of this, it's like a torch for the new beginning that I need. And the world will mirror who I am once I'm done. Well, we're never done. Do you know what I mean? But like all this big ancestral healing, all like the DNA, the genetic, the energetic stuff that needs healing from like past lives or whatever. I'm just looking at the cards, how I pulled them, and then how I laid them out. It's like I've got 4 across the top, and then 3, and then 2. I'm like, oh, this is so funny. I almost think that I should pull one for like future me, you know, or no, I'm not pulling one for my kids. Stop it. They're like, pull one for your kids. I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake. They're like, they're the future. I'm like, well, apparently I'm having kids. Well, I'm not dead and I'm not completely barren yet. I'm 31. Like, you know, there's a chance. Okay. So, yeah. All right. God, so bossy. I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to my spirit guides. They're like, your ancestors. Charlotte's right here. She's just like, your ancestors. All right, so I'm pulling a card for my future children. Once I've done all this work, they're like, yep, that's the one. Oh my God, so rude. All right, I'm going to pull like another 2. They're like, well, 3. Yeah, okay. Whoa, okay. Oh my God. All right. This is interesting. So, wake up call, listen and take note. I mean, if kids aren't a wake up call, I don't know what is. It's like, you don't have time for bullshit anymore. You have kids. Yeah, fly free. And they do teach you to be free. I know that because kids aren't aware of the bullshit. Okay, they're like, it also refers to me and this work that I've done. So they're not going to be held down by any of this. So they will be free. They won't have to do any of this. That's a relief. Boundaries, set them daily. Yeah. I feel like that's because like part of the reason I'm like, oh, I don't want to have kids is because it's like I don't want to completely sacrifice everything that I am because I know I'll be miserable and just like a horrible person. I think the way that we've parented and lived our lives is just like completely wrong, you know, especially in the modern world, like, you know, where it's like your kids before all else, before your partner, before yourself. No, actually, they're very hardy. And as long as when you're with them, you're fully present and you love them and you treat them well and you teach them well, you don't have to give them everything that you are every second of the day. It's okay to pull back and be like, you know what? That's what you've got for breakfast. I need to go make breakfast for myself. So if you're going to complain about what you've been given, tough tits, because mummy needs to eat. Because otherwise, mummy is going to be a very mean person, which I am. If I am not fed or tired or hormonal, and I think one day probably, God forbid, jet lagged or fucking God help the world if I'm all 4 at once. If I'm all 3 at once, it's bad enough. But we have to set boundaries and be like, with ourselves as parents, and be like, do I really have to do that for you right now? No. Is doing that for you right now more important than me doing whatever it is for myself or for my partner or with my partner, like, you know. But also, like, just looking at the, like, this, just looking at this, like, forgetting the words even, like, you know, the key to, like, walking through to this lovely place is apparently having kids. Thanks, blessings and thanks, abundant universe. So it's like, you know, basically they're like, well, whenever you get to it, it's going to happen. Like, they'll find a date that works to come through. I'm like, all right. They're like, and a father that works, apparently. So I think that's about it. How long? Oh, it's only been 20 minutes. I'm like, is this 2 separate videos? Because I have another video that is like sitting, like everything that I need for it is sitting right here. They're like, yes, it's a part of it. Just include it. Like, it's fine. I mean, I don't have to. I could do a separate video. All right, I'm going to put these cards away. Crazy. Craziness. All right. Bottom of the deck, just before I finish this part. Purity and innocence. You can't make this stuff up, I'm telling you. Alright, let's just cleanse and clear this deck. And then if I need it again, it's ready to go. Alright, so second part of the video, which this might go longer, so God only knows how long this is going to go. Ooh, I hope I've got enough space. I think I do. So, I've been doing a lot of work surrounding the Ascension Stargate 33. And I've been doing this for months. Word, that's what I want. Hopefully it transferred. Ooh, it might not have. I just need to pause because I need to get a book review. I just did. Okay, so it took a bit of finding. I had saved it, but it didn't. I saved it on my phone in Word instead of on my tablet, which was not the best idea. Anyway, point is, book I just finished reading. It's not very long, so it was pretty easy. So I read this, The Black Box Program and The Rose Gold Flame as Antidote, How to Shield Yourself from the Chemicals, 5G, EMFs, and Other Energetic Warfare through Alchemical Unification by Magenta, Pixie. So I'm just going to read you the back of this. I'm going to have to hold it down otherwise I can't read it. In this transmission from the white-winged collective consciousness of 9, Magenta Pixie brings forward information specific to utilizing the rose gold flame as antidote to 5G, EMFs, chemicals, and similar. The presented template utilizes the Schumann, I hope that's how you say it, Schumann resonance, and the technique is alchemical unification. The 9 discusses synchronicity, discernment skills, and understanding of discordance within truth communities. They present a workable model of expression, assisting the spiritual explorer in creating a necessary toolkit. This allows the individual to construct a shield, bringing safety, harmony, expansion, and cohesive sovereignty into their own personal reality. So, I got this because I was like, I've seen Magenta Pixie's YouTube videos, and I was like, I like her vibe. I feel like she's onto it. And then I saw the title and I was like, oh yeah, I want to know about this. You know, I've been sensitive to this stuff in the past. And whilst I believe that if you don't give it power, it doesn't have power over you, it's not going to hurt to put extra protections in place. So, for a while, and for like slightly different reasons, my dad's been calling me the alchemist. Because I've basically got him on a regime of supplements, which I think helped his health. Like, he's not complaining about anything, so they must be helping. So he calls me the alchemist. And whilst that's like jokingly, he's also a life path 33, so he is sensitive. He does have a 5 for channeling in there. He's got 3 1s, 2 9s, 2 7s. So he is quite sensitive, and like most men, when they do channel, they don't realise it. Most men don't realise it because they're just not tapped in the way women are, although there are plenty of men out there who do read and that sort of thing. But yeah, it was so funny. I was like, oh my God, like, he's been calling me this for ages. And then all the work in this book is work that I've already been doing but needed more information on. It's got stuff about the language of light. And I was like, I've been seeing that. I thought I was a bit crazy and making it up. No, it's a real thing. Yeah, like language of light stuff, and then connected into the earth, and just like kind of broke down some misnomers that I had in my head about connecting to the earth, like, and taking from the earth and giving back to the earth. Like, giving back, sure, but I don't usually like consciously take from the earth, because I was just like, oh man, like, Mother Earth's got enough to deal with. I don't want to take anything from her. But actually, she's fully tapped into universal energy, source energy, to draw down on. So it's actually not doing her any harm. In fact, it's doing her good, because if it does us good, it's going to do her good. And it does do us good. You know, she's our mother. If we don't tap in, like, you know, we're in trouble. Did I put that here for a reason? Oh, that was, yeah, that's okay. So I'm just going to read my review, because it kind of like says everything. And actually it mentions, it's so interesting, and I've just got to download about it. Spirit's like, there's going to be three 33 gateways. So I know for sure that I've been in the first one for a while. In late May, I managed to target when it was. It was like the last week of May, or like the first week of June. I woke up, and because that's what I did a video about it, and it was like within the same week. But I couldn't remember what exact date. But yeah, I woke up to Spirit saying, like, talking about Ascension Stargate 33 opening, and I was like, what's that? And then that's when I started channeling and making videos about that stuff. So anyway, it's a real thing. It's literally in this book. It's crazy. Like, it just fully validated so many things for me. So I'm going to read my review. I left it on her video about when she made it available. So so in April, it was available in print and Kindle edition. I don't have Kindle, and I think it was only available in print on her website. I think it only became available on, like, where I bought it, which is Booktopia, this month. So I just got it this week, and then finished it because it's not very long, and I devoured it because I was like, oh my God, it was completely validating. Anyway, I'm going to read this review finally. I just finished this book and was completely validated by its contents. In late May / early June, I woke up to Spirit talking about Ascension Stargate 33 opening. Suffice to say, the synchrodipity has been crazy. Synchronicity / serendipity. Since January this year, 2019, I woke up, and it's been non-stop ever since. So, like, I woke up to Ascension and the world as it actually is, not the bullshit programming that we're all given and believe, because if you're taught something over and over and over again, you believe that that's reality. Even when you come in believing and knowing different when you're taught some other way. Oh, that's interesting. They're like, that's part of the veil of forgetfulness. It's not just like a karmic or structure of the earth as it's always been. Part of it is that built-in the controls. They keep saying the control system. It's also a part of the control system of making people forget by telling them that their existence is something other than what it actually is. They're saying inverting reality. So, okay, so since January this year, 2019, I woke up and it's been non-stop ever since. I'm trying to heal from autoimmune disease, and I will. I already have cured my multiple chemical sensitivities, so I know I can heal the whole way. I've been seeing the language of light running through all things. When I focus on it and it looks slow, dark red, dull, lifeless, if you will, and I ask the light, what would happen if my light language coding was fixed? What would that look like? And then it changes before my eyes. It turns iridescent white. Spirit's like, you're going to get more downloads on how to do this better, properly. So this will be an interesting video. What would happen if my light language coding was fixed? What would that look like? And then it changes. Before my eyes, it turns iridescent white, fast and pristine. It's so beautiful. And I'm capable of things I haven't been capable of in many, many years. After reading your book in late October 2019, after stumbling across your YouTube and buying it, I am so grateful for your work. Thank you so much for validating me and also for giving me some missing pieces of my healing puzzle. Stay in the light, sister. Many thanks, many blessings, and many happy returns to you. So, that will appear on Booktopia at some stage. But yeah, so I highly recommend that book. It's really good. And now I'm like, ugh, I want to read all her other books. So I'm going to have to buy them as soon as possible. Or at least like one every page because I'm like, I need them. So I'm going to be keeping that book close at hand, and that the collective consciousness of 9 detail exercises to draw down and work with the rose gold flame. So now I'm just like, all right, I guess I'm going to channel some information about light coding. They're like, yes, that's right. So they're like, turn off the camera, but I'm just going to pause it and then just do some work on myself, and then I'll come back and report or channel whatever happens. Okay. That was interesting. I took my awareness out to our sun and then to Sirius, and then I saw a bigger sun out further than that, and I was like, ooh. And asked each sun if I could take back their golden ray to Earth, to my body. They're like, yes, always, of course. So I did that, and interestingly, our sun felt the most potent and powerful for us. For the rest of the universe, I would think whatever their sun is would be the most potent and powerful. So for us, I feel like our sun, if you don't have to go visit the other stars, the other suns, that's fine. Just take your awareness to the sun and bring back that golden energy. And then went into the earth, and actually went into the middle of the earth and the liquid crystalline grid, and spent some time there with Gaia. And then she actually pushed me into like this black sphere, and then like a white angel came out, like presented itself, and it was like, okay, this is the Archangel of Earth, like takes care, like protects, heals, like all of that. And then I heard Jophiel. I was like, okay, I don't I do work with angels, but mostly Archangel Michael, a bit Archangel Raphael, a little bit Gabriel, a little bit Metatron, a little bit Melchizedek. But I just sort of call in general angels, like whoever wants to come from the light that's an angel, or whoever from the light really, just come and I'll work with you. As long as it's got good intentions and it's from the light, like I don't really care who comes. So, but yeah, I thought, so I don't really know anything about Jophiel, so I thought I'll look something up. I'm like, let me find a source that like feels right. So I found this one, last updated May 23rd. That's my birthday. Okay. If you ever need validation, it's always right there. Can't make this stuff up. So Archangel Jophiel. Archangel Jophiel is the angel of beauty and wisdom. Though angels, wow, I just got really dizzy. Wow. They're like, you're getting downloads through your head. I'm like, okay, I can feel it. Though angels do not have actual physical genders, Archangel Jophiel is usually represented with feminine traits. The name Jophiel literally means beauty of God. She is also known by the names Iophiel and Sophiel. Or is it Lophiel? Ooh, you know when you can't tell if it's an I or an L? Anyway, in some traditions. While many popular culture sources depict angels as bureaucratic functionaries, angels are actually much more powerful than this. Operating independent of the restrictions of time and space, angels are able to provide us with the assistance and guidance that we need to reach our full personal potential. What is an archangel? We are all familiar with angels, and most people believe that they have a guardian angel who protects and guides them throughout their lives. Archangels are like guardian angels in that they this is so funny. I was like, oh yeah, you do, because I've had like I had one near-death experience, which was very a physical experience. I was walking down a road and I'd looked, no cars, nothing, totally safe to cross. Looked, and then I was like, looked again, and I was like, yep, it's fine. And then I went to cross, and this truck came out of nowhere. I was about to step like into the gutter, like into the road, and then I was like 2 feet backwards, just like that. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't know if I teleported or if I was moved. I don't know what happened, but I was like moved. And then I watched as where I would have been standing, I watched this wheel go over the curb. So literally where I would have been standing and then stepping, come over the curb around, and I was like, holy fuck, I was standing there. I'm standing here watching the spot where I was standing, but I was moving forward and then I was back. And I was like, oh yeah, that was an angel. But I always felt it was like my great-grandparents. But I was actually just shown like all of my ancestors, all these hands grabbing me and pulling me back. All of my ancestors. I was like, wow, that was cool. That was really interesting because I've never seen that before. So it just goes to show how much power your ancestors do actually have to protect you. Like, wow. Because I know that angels are very powerful, but that was such a physical experience, and I just felt like that it was my family that was like, no, absolutely not. No, you can't have her today. And this was like, they keep saying 2007, so, because it may have been but they're like, no, it was 2007. So it was quite a while ago now. It was a year after high school for me. I think I was maybe doing a bit of work for my dad or something. I guess that's right. Because I remember I was walking down the road that his works on to like go get a coffee and get him a coffee and maybe some cakes or something. And maybe to go to the bank. I might have been going to the bank as well. Anyway, I was like, oh, wow. I really checked then. Like, I had looked carefully before because I know how dangerous the roads are. I know that some people don't look for you. And so I've always checked really carefully. So after that happened, I was like, wow. And I really checked and was like looking around the corner as I was walking because I was like, well, that was fucked. And I was just going to keep walking because I was just like in shock. I couldn't believe what had just happened. And I think at the time I wasn't even quite aware that I had moved or I had been moved because all I knew was like that's where I was standing. How like I'm alive. I just watched that thing come over the curb, but I wasn't standing there. Like that was really weird. And but then I was like, no, like if you hadn't moved, which like or been moved, like I didn't fully even comprehend at that exact moment what had happened. But I thought, no, if you hadn't moved, he would have hit you. You have to say something to him. And he was like a delivery truck and he pulled up on, like, facing the wrong way on the road. So already I'm like, oh, this guy, like, does not give a single solitary fuck about what he's doing. And it was like one of those PDF or whatever trucks where it's like blue writing in red. We might only have them in Australia, but he was delivering like bread or food or something to a bakery that was like right there. And he was opening the back of the truck and I was like, no, he would have fucking killed you. And he was driving recklessly, dangerously fast because he wasn't there and then he was mounting the curb and I was like, what the actual fuck? And he was literally where I would have been standing. And so I was like, excuse me. I was like, you nearly hit me. You mounted the curb. You nearly hit me. He didn't even look at me. He didn't even want to acknowledge me. Like he literally nothing. It was just nothing. I said, do you hear me? I was like, are you just going to ignore me? Like he just literally nothing. It's like he was a fucking zombie. He did not care. And I was like, wow. I took down the number plate. I took down the company that he drove for. I don't think I took a photo because it was 2007 and phones didn't have like great picture quality. Like it was okay, but I was like, oh, I just took down the details and I was like, right, when I get back to the office, I'm calling that company. I took down the time as well and like wrote a brief, just like in my phone, wrote like a brief description of what the guy looked like and went back to the office, called the company, explained what time it was, gave them the number plate, told them what happened, and like I was like, this is serious. Like he nearly killed me. Like he could have killed me. He literally mounted the curb. I looked twice, and there was nothing there. And he was driving so fast that it was just like I don't know how I wasn't hit. And they were like, oh, okay, yeah, we've had 3 other complaints about him. And I was like, really? And you've still got him on the road? Like, I was like, well, I think they probably fired him. And honestly, I don't feel bad about that because next time it could have been a fucking child or a mother with a pram or like just anyone. Next time he could actually kill someone. So I was like, no, I don't give a fuck if he does get fired. And honestly, I actually hope he did get fired because he should not have been working that job. Like, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with that guy, but he was like not right. He didn't care. He didn't even look at me. He didn't acknowledge that I was talking to him and saying like, you nearly hit me. What the fuck is wrong with you? And I think I made that clear to them. I was like, I tried to challenge him and he wouldn't even fucking look at me. But yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we know what driver that is. Because I could give them the time and like the location and all that sort of stuff. And then obviously the number plate and they're like, oh yeah, we've had complaints about him. We've had like 3 complaints. And like they did take it seriously. They were like, oh, okay, like yeah, we'll see to this, you don't need to worry about it. I almost wish that I had given them my number and then they could have like called me and said what action they've taken. But like yeah, so your ancestors have more power than what you realize. Um, okay. Archangels and guardian angel are like guardian angels in that they are directly involved in the affairs of living beings such as animals and humans. But archangels are of a higher order and act with a higher spiritual authority. In the book of Revelations, it is mentioned that there are 7 angels who dwell in the presence of the Lord. These are the original 7 archangels. Angels include, and okay, Spirit's like, no, that was just for you. You don't have to tell anyone that. Something that happened when I went down to Guy, so forget it. Angels, including guardian angels and archangels, are common to all major religious traditions, including Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, and even many forms of Buddhism. Archangels are powerful celestial beings who are charged with the responsibility of carrying out the will of God and spreading God's infinite love to all sentient beings. Who is Archangel Jophiel? As the angel of beauty and wisdom, Archangel Jophiel is the patron of artists and artistic illumination. John Milton with Paradise Lost referred to Jophiel as the cherubim with the swiftest wing. Validation for me, that's what this is. The speed of Jophiel's flight refers to the high vibrational energy at which Jophiel operates in our lives. As a high vibrational ascendant being, Jophiel moves at the speed of our thoughts to raise our personal vibration to the level needed for us to experience creative and spiritual illumination, which that's exactly why we're here. Archangel Jophiel is known to heal negative emotions and chaotic situations. I mean, Earth needs that right now. Her beautiful and peaceful mind can bring us serene thoughts that help us organize our homes and workspaces. Archangel Jophiel's element is fire, and her color is yellow. This is symbolic of the flame of creativity and the light of spiritual illumination. It is said that when we encounter Archangel Jophiel, there will be a golden yellow light known as Jophiel's yellow ray. Archangel Jophiel resides in the halls of wisdom, working with angels who are charged with the task of spreading the wisdom of God throughout the universe. Jophiel can help anyone who calls upon her to absorb information, bring order and serenity to your thoughts, and provide the artistic and intellectual inspiration that you need to complete artistic projects. Well, I'm a writer and I'm procrastinating, so yes. Jophiel and the Sword of Wisdom. Jophiel is mentioned in the Old Testament as one of the angels in the Garden of Eden. Eden. I don't know, maybe it's a thing. That guards the tree of life with a flaming sword. This flaming sword is Jophiel's sword of discriminating wisdom. This word cuts through our delusions and personal illusions, bringing us to truth and wisdom. Jophiel is associated with humanity's first use of their free will. Like, yeah, she's the archangel, like, specifically for the planet. With the flaming sword of wisdom, Jophiel helped Adam and Eve experience life to the fullest. Jophiel's wisdom frees us to meet our personal destiny. Okay, so her yellow ray. When Archangel Jophiel appears in our lives, she is usually accompanied by a ray of golden yellow light that is often called Jophiel's sunshine ray. One of Jophiel's gifts is the appreciation of real, genuine beauty. When we invoke Jophiel's wisdom flame, you will receive help in any situation that involves clarity of mind and perception. Jophiel's yellow ray radiates wisdom, beauty, and illumination. With Jophiel's help, we can build a strong connection with our higher self and interact with spiritual guides and angels who can help us in our spiritual development. As the angel of beauty, Jophiel can help us keep our energy bodies clean and our vibration high in our career and workplace. Jophiel can help us attain career success, especially if we are involved in an artistic line of work, such as the beauty industry or any type of creative occupation. So calling on Jophiel when you need mental clarity, creative inspiration, especially when you're in the midst of a creative endeavor. Jophiel can help you manifest joy and personal happiness and bless all of your creative pursuits. When you invoke Archangel Jophiel, make sure that you are not asking for help in a situation that you can handle on your own. To invoke Archangel Jophiel, go to a quiet, sacred space in your home and light a yellow candle. Repeat the following invocation, either aloud or silently, as feels right to you. Oh, that's long. I'm not going to read that. I'll put it in the comments. Archangel Jophiel also helps us stay open and alert to the authentic beauty that is already present in our lives. By awakening us to this beauty, we feel enriched and enlivened. Interesting. That's very interesting. So yeah, and something that came through when I went down to Mother Earth is that so many people are stuck right now. It's not just me, because I know that what I'm feeling is like a collective thing as well. And I looked up and it's like 5050. I was like, yes. Because I was slightly doubting. I was like, well, am I making that up? Like, you know, I never want to get something wrong. I always have this like deep fear, and it's linked to this, what I'm talking about. I'm releasing, as you can see, like hiccuping and burping and like geez. So a lot of people have this unworthiness to Jesus, to take divine light or divine guidance. And we all have this sense of like, oh, well, I'm not worthy and I'm not good enough and I'll just get it wrong. So we just become so stuck because we've been programmed to like not ask for help, not want better for yourself because you're not worthy, and you know, you're just going to be taking up valuable resources, even if it's spiritual resources, which are infinite. And even I've fallen into this trap. You know, like, you can learn unworthiness from so many places. Sometimes it's general society because you look different, or you think differently, or, you know, sometimes it's society, sometimes it's your family, sometimes you're just depressed, and because they're like, sometimes you do it to yourself, and they showed me when I was depressed, and I was like, yeah, sometimes it's what you say to yourself, sometimes it's what people who are supposed to raise you up, bringing you down, sometimes it's society or culture, but I think as a they're like, yes, as a collective level right now, we're really trying to sort unworthiness, that feeling that it's like, oh, well, I'll fuck it up, so, you know, I just won't do it, or, oh, I won't ask for that help, or I won't call down that energy because they've got better things to do, or, you know, like calling up energy from Mother Earth. It's like, oh no, like, she's got enough to deal with. That's literally how I used to think. Used to, before I read this book. And now I understand Gaia is fully plugged in. The planet is fully plugged in. She's constantly channeling energy from the universe for us. I mean, that's what a mother does. It's like a mother's milk. Do you know what I mean? Like, she puts energy, food into her body, which is the planet, and then it's for us, her children. You know, like, we're still connected. We have our tether to the universe. Our soul has a tether to the body, and then we have a tether to the earth. It's like, it's all, you know, if you see like an infinity sign, like, it's all connected. So yeah, highly recommend this book. Highly, highly recommend. If you haven't seen Magenta Pixie on YouTube, I will include a link to that as well. So, link plus Pixie link. So, I've just written that down because otherwise I will forget. I'm like, do I need to pull any cards? They're like, yes, you will. All right then. Bossy. Yes, I'll use these. These are Amanda Ellis's Archangel Metatron cards. they're like, you'll take 3 for the Trinity, which actually is just a universal construct. It's not, because I get a bit uncomfortable with the religious aspect of stuff. Like, it's just one interpretation of what is actually universal law, and it just doesn't resonate with me. I grew up in the Christian faith, and whilst it does hold its own merit because it's just a human interpretation of the truth, it's just one interpretation, but I don't fully resonate with it. I more resonate with it as a universal construct and something that just is, and the religious aspect of the Trinity is just one part of it. So I choose to see it as now. So Magenta Pixie shows it as this triquetra, which is Celtic, which is the Celtic version of it. And it's what the collective of 9 that she channels told her to use. And I'm like, oh yeah, I way more resonate with that. So triquetra, I'm like, yeah, I'm way more down with that energy. So that being said, because that's also something I learned from that, because I have work okay, I have work a modality that I'm doing, which is, I call it angel light, because that's what the angels called it when they gave it to me, when they used it to heal me. They said to give you strength, and that's exactly what it did. It fortified me when I really needed it. So it's soul spheres. It's like a ball of energy program with the pure consciousness of your soul, so that it's like a well, you can replenish it if your soul's tired, weary, you're just weary in your life, whatever it is. It gives you strength, it fills you up, and it reminds you why you're here. And then they can also give you soul support spheres with the soul sphere, so that and there'll be times when people don't even need a soul sphere, they just need support spheres to help them to get through a rough time. Support spheres are just programmed with whatever support or lessons that they need help with learning at that time. But I'm realizing now that it will also be me teaching how to heal with the language of light, because it is really helping me. And I thought that it hadn't held, like what I did with my energy and that light coding. It has held, because I've just seen it. They just show me. They're like, it has held. Oh, got it. They're like, it's held now. It was in my energy. It was just locked in is the word they're using. It wasn't locked in, but now it is. So what I did with those rays and turning it into the golden ray, and then I put my symbol over my chest that they said it's an anchor. Just the circle with the dot. I put that over my heart to like join them and keep them circulating, so that they're constantly merging at my heart center and turning into that rose gold ray for protection. But it anchors and it creates that, they're saying, the Schumann resonance. So that's what locks in light codes, because they've been in my body, and my body now knows or remembers really what the pure programming for my body is, to be thriving instead of surviving, which is what I've been for a long time. They're like, and it's still going to take some time. I need to get my diet right and learn how to do keto, because I know that that's going to help me with energy, because a high-fat diet helps you with energy. It's long-lasting energy, and it's not rough on your stomach. Like, having too much protein, for me, like animal protein, sometimes you do need it. Like, sometimes I'll crave like a bit of chicken or something, or like a bit of fish, but I'm not like, a lot of the time I just kind of look at meat and I'm like, ugh, like I don't want to eat that. And I've been like that. They're like, well, probably your whole life. I'm like, yeah. So I've been like that basically my whole life. I'm not a big meat eater, but I do eat meat. I do eat eggs. I do eat fish. It's just I only do it when my body's like, hey, we need a bit of extra fuel, and it needs to be that or whatever. Like, you just have to trust and honor your body. So, the first card is love, relationships, and harmony. And they first showed me ancestors, but then also this is the relationship you have with yourself as well. So, with yourself, with your ancestors, okay, they're like, this is where we're coming back to a place of, it's going to take some time and everyone will get there eventually, they're saying, and at different times. So we can't be frustrated with other people for not getting it, though, we're not immune. Healing, pause to receive. So yeah, whether it's going down into Mother Earth or connecting with angels or the sun or all of them, bringing it all together, call it down, whether it's your ancestors or spiritual or energetic, whether it's like this card, like just envisioning color coming into your body, whatever it is. It might just be the rose gold ray or that rose and it, like, that pink energy. Calling it down. New dawn, welcome back. So we're bringing it all together and ushering in something new. And really, this is how it's being done. It's not being done in the big gestures or people out there doing, seemingly having the most impact. It's about what you do. It's about how you shift your bullshit. So yeah, like, just do your own work. You'll feel better for it anyway. And like, it's just worth it. So I will include the title of the book. I will include Magenta Pixie's link to her YouTube, and a link to that Jophiel where I got that information. I think that's all, really. That just feels like, you just kind of feel like when a reading's over. And I've wanted to read for like the past week or like maybe even over a week, but it's just been like dead, like no energy. There's nothing to tap into. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then Amanda Ellis posted something saying that she just wasn't feeling anything. And I was like, so it's not just me, thank God. Like, this is why I follow other people. It's like my messages are different to other people's messages. So I, like when it comes to something like predictions for the next year or whatever, like I want to do mine so that then I can go enjoy other people's. But for the most part, you can just be really validated by other people's messages and be like, oh yeah. Like, I've been trying to pre-record for next month, but I just couldn't connect. So at least I can start doing that now. They're like, just do one a day, maybe two if it's really easy. I'm like, okay, I'm listening. I'll be good, I promise. All right, well, I'm gonna love and leave you. Take 3 for luck. Bye.